How many of you, by show of hands, want to be a millionaire? Okay, just about everybody's hands raised. How many of you think you'll be a millionaire? Okay. How come everybody's hands not raised?
It's reality.
Possible? You guys don't think that it's maybe something that you could do? Well, I'm here to tell you that there's some different ways that you can invest your money, and you can make it very practical for yourself. So I want to go over those ways to invest, where you can invest your money, and then hopefully that'll make you have a happy retirement. Compound interest is something that is used in finance to talk about how your money can be invested somewhere. And what happens is the initial investment you put in gains interest, and then interest is gained on top of that. And I put up two charts because I want to show you guys in comparison what will happen. And both these charts, we're taking an initial sum of money, $10,000, and we're going to use the age of 25, for example. So a person on the left puts $10,000 in the account, and they let it sit there until they retire, which is age 65. They don't touch it. What happens is, by the time they retire, it turns into $70,000. The person on the right puts in $10,000 initially, but they put in $10,000 every year. So by the time they reach age 65, they put in $400,000 of their own money. But look at how much it's worth. $1.2 million. Now you may say, Kevin, I don't have $10,000 to put into an account every year. But the principle applies even with smaller amounts. So if you can only do $5,000 a year, $2,500, the compound interest effect still works on anything that you put in. So you'll be much happier in your retirement knowing that you're financially secure if you guys start saving now. Savings versus investing. Okay, now there's two different financial ideas going on here. Savings, I like to think of as more lower interest rates. They're very low risk. In investing, I try to think of like a higher interest rate, higher return, but you have a higher risk. And so investing ideas I want to give you guys is like stocks, mutual funds, 401ks. Stocks are basically like ownership in a company. Mutual funds are like a compilation of stocks. It's like a group of stocks that you buy, and they grow over time. And then 401k is something that's offered through most employers. It's a retirement plan, and then if they don't offer it, you can always do a Roth IRA, which is where you do it on your own. And it's an account that grows interest over time for retirement. I wanted to give you guys an example. I spoke with someone. His name was Robert Conroy. He's an attorney for State Farm Insurance. And basically his background is when he was younger, his 20s, he didn't have very much money. He drove a car that was beat up. He wrote checks to cover other checks in the bank that were going to bounce. Was balancing working full-time at Busch Gardens in school. But when he was 20, he started putting money into his 401k. And through his years of investing, he now has over $2 million in his retirement accounts. It's between his pension, 401k, and his Social Security. And that's not including his high-rise on Bayshore Boulevard, his condo that he has in a high-rise. So it's very, very possible if you guys start saving now that you can do all that. I also put down here at the bottom, consider your age. Because when you're younger, you're able to take more risky investments. Because if you end up losing money, you can always recoup it back. But as you get older, like when you start into your 40s and then towards retirement, you want to switch your investments to lower risk. Because you don't want to get to retirement and then something happens to your money, and then you're ready to retire, and now you don't have any money to retire. So as you get older, you want to start switching them to lower risk investments. So now that you guys saw different ways to invest your money, stocks, mutual funds, 401ks, you're going to say, well, okay, that sounds great, but where do I go to do that? How do I set up a 401k? How do I buy stocks? these companies here are online brokerage firms where you can go, you just type them into Google. And just about all of them, I believe, you can make a free account. I just set up an account on Scottrade not too long ago. And you can set up the account for free. And what's cool about it is it gives you different like articles and stuff that you can read on finances. It gives you knowledge how to make business decisions with your money. For mine, like with the Scottrade, you have, in order to start trading stocks and stuff, you have to have an initial investment of $2,500, which is a little steep. But some of the other companies only require like a couple $100s. I think like the Charles Schwab only requires you to have a couple $100s in there to start trading. And so you can start using that money to make money for yourself. I want to show you another resource real fast. When you get involved with stock trading, you guys are going to pull this website up. It's called Yahoo Finance. And what you can do is you can actually search your stocks. On the left-hand side, you just type in like a stock, for instance. So if we look at United States Oil, USO, you can pull up the actual stock of the company. So if you wanted to buy this stock, you could look at like how it's done in the past and when's the best time to buy it. They have graphs and stuff that you can pull up. And what you do is you just look at like the lower ends when stock was a lower amount versus when it was higher. And you always want to buy when it's lower. You want to try and sell when it's higher. But don't get caught up in that you're going to make the most profit, because it never happens. You got to be reasonable. So you want to make a little bit of money, but don't try to always wait for it to get to the very top, because then it will come back down on it. So you buy low, you sell high. There's one other thing I want to talk about as far as your retirement plans. Okay, so real quick, some of you know what Social Security is, some of you don't. When you retire, you'll be, just about everybody will be eligible to collect Social Security. Here's the problem that a lot of people have. They think, oh, I'll just wait and I don't have to save any money now because when I retire, I'll get my Social Security. Well, here's the problem with that. And this is something that I learned in my textbook from my economics class. The author, Keown, they state that Social Security benefits are only supposed to make up 42% of your income. So if you think about that, like right now, think about living on 42% of what you make right now. So some of you are probably struggling right now, so that's kind of hard to cope with. You have to live on only 42%. So it's very important that you start investing now, because you have to make up the other 58% of your income when you retire. Other thing is, there was a Frontline documentary on PBS that aired, and this is a very scary thought, but they said that half of America's private sector, so think about half you guys in this room, when you retire, will only have plans on living on your Social Security alone, which is the big problem in the United States right now. So finally, I've given you guys some ideas of how to invest your money, where to invest it, and I urge each of you, because of the time value of money, start investing today. Don't wait until tomorrow. Thank you.